Hi, I'm Hat Guy. Every hockey season, dozens of hats are thrown away because of hat tricks that weren't actually hat tricks. For the past 2 games, hat trickery has contributed to the needless discarding of so many hats. They might have mistaken who scored a goal because they were sending some fire tweets. Maybe they were getting a beer so they didn't hear the goal change announcement. Or maybe they were like this guy and weren't even watching the game at all. This holiday season, please stop hat wasting due to hat trickery. You can contribute to the cause by donating 69 cents over the next 420 months to my personal Venmo. The link is down below. Dude, what are you doing? The link is down below. Hi! Victory puppy! I have no idea what I'm doing. This team is ruining my life! The puppies are victorious! Oh, baby! You've done it, puppies! You've done it. Everything is heckening. Leafs win! 5-3 over the New York Rangers. Had to make sure. Last video they won 6-1. I said 5-4, which, genuinely hard to do. How did they do that? Luckily, the Leafs looked better than me. Not a perfect win, but a good one, and the Leafs looked like the better team throughout again. Starting the game on time, outshooting the Rangers 15-10 in the first and 36-28 in the game overall. Mitch Marner with a Mitch Marner hat trick, which involves him getting an assist and fans throwing their hats for no reason. Andreas Johnsson having a 3-point game as well, stealing one of those Marner goals and getting 2 assists. How will they ever afford him? I don't know, and at the moment, I don't care. Allow yourself to enjoy things. Like the fact that Austin Matthews didn't get a goal in this game. Question of the game, is he washed? Is it time to trade him? I don't think so. Personally, why would you trade an asset when its value is so low? The coffee was good today. Actually, I ran out of coffee filter, so it was French press, so the coffee is bon! Jim, excuse. So let's talk about the game. Oh baby, this was a special one. Bob Cole on play-by-play for the New York Rangers and the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's funny, some people freak about Bob Cole, and those people are right. And then I see a lot of people just not getting it. Look, if you grew up with Bob Cole and you're not into it, I don't know what to tell you, other than I think you're wrong, very wrong. But not everyone got to grow up with Bob Cole and having him as the voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs and Hockey Night in Canada. But this guy's voice was my childhood, and so many Leafs fans' childhood. Him along with Joe Bowen, right? So I think part of his appeal is nostalgia, at least that's what it is for me. But he also calls games so differently, and I know it's too simple for a lot of people, but I love it. Because for a lot of people, look at this action over here and look at this action over here, they have a tendency to call a game like they're an auctioneer or they're at a horse race. But Bob never had to be the star of the show. He just kind of explains what's happening, even when what's happening is everything. If he's not your cup of tea or you're not old enough to get it, fine, but don't yuck someone else's yum. It's a weird term, but I like it. Oh baby. Let's talk about the game. I got to watch this game and many others in the CBC studios because I was doing Hockey Central Saturday with Rob Pizzo. It's a 5-hour radio show. The first 2 hours we're interviewing guests, and the final 3 hours for us is basically going from game to game to game. It's a lot like ice surfing. And I thought the Rangers were starting Lundqvist, and I would have loved that because the Leafs, for some reason, have amazing luck against him, especially Nylander. But instead, it was a cool story, Alexander Georgiev. And I'm sorry I butcher his name like I work at a deli, but a quick little story that I'm sure some of you have heard before. During 2012, I was doing videos called Joining the Rush with Andrea Sadchenko. He's from Russia, and we talked about the NHL and the KHL in these videos. There's a Russian website called VK.com. It's sort of like their Facebook, and someone made a Joining the Rush fan page. This 15-year-old from Russia, they like our videos, so they made the page. Yeah, it's cool. A few months ago, Andre tells me that that kid was Alexander Georgiev. I would love to meet him in person and ask him if it's true. I saw him play last year in Philadelphia against the Flyers, but check it out, he's playing in the show, Hockey Night in Canada. And part of me is like, 1-0 Leafs win? Within the first 3 minutes, the Leafs go, we'll try. Morgan Riley puts it on, Patty Marleau with the tip, and it's 1-0 Leafs. Maybe stop it there. That's Riley's 30th assist of the season, but Marleau's 10th goal of the season, and check out this goofy, unbelievable stat. From NHL Public Relations, Patrick Marleau became just the 4th player in NHL history to score at least 10 goals in 21 or more consecutive seasons. The other 3, Gordie Howe, might have heard of him, Alex Delvecchio, and Raymond Bourque. So Patrick Marleau has scored at least 10 goals in every single season he's played in. 21 consecutive seasons. And the goalie he scored on to accomplish that feat is just 22 years old. So Marleau's streak is almost as old as the goalie he scored on. Carter Hart wasn't even alive when the streak began. Marleau's streak is no longer eligible to play junior hockey. Marleau's streak can drink in the States. And with that goal, Patrick Marleau takes sole possession of 30th all-time in NHL goal scoring, kicking out Maurice Richard. He had a bit of a slow start, but it's been climbing recently. He's on pace for 23 goals again. And that was it for scoring in the first, though. Relatively quiet frame. No penalties, no nothing. Although it looked like the Leafs had a power play for a lot of it. Second period, little different. Marleau took a penalty. That's a bad Marleau, but the Leafs kill it off. And the guy who drew that call was Mark Stahl. Well, 5 minutes later, we saw Mark Stahl again. He shoves Nazem Kadri into Georgiev. Now, Georgiev's watching the puck. All he sees is that there's a Leaf in his face, so he shoves him. Kadri doesn't like it, so he shoves him back. Someone on the Rangers saw that, and that someone was Adam McQuaid, and that's unfortunate. And McQuaid throws off his gloves, and Kadri keeps them on. And you know what? If someone's shoving you around, I think you should defend yourself. Unless it's Adam McQuaid. Hey, if you're roughly Adam McQuaid's size, alright, go for it. But he's a lot bigger than us, and his fists are made of marble. So he gives him this, like, judo throw mixed in a cross-check, and the Leafs all of a sudden have a 4-minute power play. Now, who was in the wrong there? Some of you might go, McQuaid, he's stupid. He gave his team a 4-minute penalty. And I say no, he was defending his goalie. Someone shoved his goalie. You can't expect an NHL defenseman not to act when someone shoves a goalie. Well, then it was Naz. No, Georgiev shoved Naz. Naz shoved him back. Well, then it was Georgiev. No, he got bumped into by a Leaf. So whose fault was it? Well, for the 1000th time, don't shove players into your goalie, Mark. Mark Stahl of 795 NHL regular season games and another 104 in the playoffs. His next game will be his 900th. That whole thing's his fault. He shoves a guy into his goalie and then puts his team down for 4 minutes straight. Here's the problem, though. The Rangers kill it. And their final 5 minutes of the second were killer. Neil Pionk, whose name I appreciate. What? Just a dart through traffic in front. Freddie doesn't see it, and the Rangers tie it before the end of the second. In fact, they're about to... What? The Rangers continue the pressure. They have this crazy flurry in front, wide open net, and Ryan Strome just whiffs. Poor guy's only got 6 points in 18 games since joining the Rangers, which is better than the 2 he had in 18 with the Oilers. What's this guy gotta do? Third period. And early in the third, John Tavares wins an offensive zone faceoff. Leafs wheel and dealing. Gardner puts it on, tipped by Tavares, it comes loose. Marner shoots and puts it in. Put that one on the radar for the hat trick. Leafs up 2-1. Actually, it was Janssen. Andreas Janssen, who's on that line, by the way, was like on his knees in the crease, and I guess the puck went off him, so they gave him the goal. But not a ton of people knew that. And once again, look at this. What about this is helpful to your goalie, Rangers? Oh, let's do it mid-game. Rangers fans, if I were you. You know what? I know it's been a tough season, but you're actually not in a terrible position. I said it for a long time. I love the Rangers' decision to actively rebuild last year. Look, you're not playing to make the playoffs. You're playing to win the cup, and they didn't have a shot. Definitely not a good one. And look around the league. Look at the bottom of the standings. How many of the teams in that little conversation are actively rebuilding? No, a bunch of them accidentally suck. At least you meant to be there. So if I were you, I'd be doing what the Leafs did just a couple years ago. February is the most wonderful time. Trade everybody. All the picks and prospects belong to us. In the meantime, enjoy it and try to find the positives in the younger performances. That's how I would feel if I were you. Just a few minutes later, the Leafs with the puck in the offensive zone. Riley sends it over to Hainsey. He juggles it, almost loses it. But he does a good job just keeping it at the blue line and flicking it in on his backhand. Andreas Janssen finds a lane. Morgan Riley is wide open. Can someone give these guys a game sheet? Snipes it. Easy money. Guys, this guy leads the league in defensive scoring. And once again, a Leaf finds his way into the blue paint. The Rangers can't move him, though. He's just huge. Oh, that's Marner. Man, they gotta fix that. And the Rangers go, wait a second. What if we crash their net? Philip Cheadle goes, aye. Little dipsy doodle dangle walks Riley. Jeez. He deals it over to Kevin Hayes, who's able to bang it because no Leaf felt like taking him. And there's really no excuse for it. Look at this. So at the bottom of the screen there, that's Ron Hainsey trying to intercept the puck in the neutral zone. But it's okay. He's got tons of support. And he's trying to come back. The ref sort of gets in his way, but he's still got support. Marleau, who was battling with him the whole way, just kind of lets him go. And Tavares could have got him. Maybe if there was a little bit of communication, this goal could have been prevented. Rangers within 1. Also, I'm watching the highlights. Cheadle or Heedle? Bob says it's Heedle, and I'm sure he asked the guy. Just over 7 minutes to go. Riley sends the puck up ice. Janssen tips it in, but it looks like the Rangers are going to get it. But they can't clear it because John Tavares gets in the way and says, I'm a Leaf! No look pass to Marner. See what communication can do? That or they're telekinetic. And Marner goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mitchell! You did not have to! That guy watched my videos, Mitchell. How could you? His second of the game, which is actually his first of the game and 11th of the season, puts the Leafs up 4-2. Now, with just a few minutes to play, the Rangers say, why don't we try that crash in the net thing again? Hayes is involved again, this time as the setup man, puts it on Chris Kreider. It's always Chris Kreider. Tips it in. Rangers within 1. That's Kreider's 16th of the season. Low-key, real good season for him. And getting no help from the rest of the Rangers. That's his 16th. The next highest guy has 11. He's only got 8 assists because, well, who's he gonna pass it to? 16 goals in 34 games, matching his 58 game total from last season. He had a lot of injuries. Makes less than $5 million this year and next. Ooh, is he gonna get them a lot at the trade deadline if they move him? Now, Rangers with the empty net, they're working it around and they almost get one past Freddie to tie it. Oh my goodness, this action is so intense. I hope the Leafs make it down. Get out of the way! Kevin Hayes sends it to the point. It's bobbled. Mitch Marner manages to chip it up. Marner sort of throws it in front of himself a little bit. I don't know if he closed his hand on the puck. That's obviously not allowed, but he did give it a little help, which is exactly what you should do if you know you're going to win the foot race. He shoots and scores on the empty net. It would have been a goal anyway because he got hooked on the play. And for the second straight game, here come the Hats. Ooh, there's a lot more this time too, because it's Saturday night and I can't help but feel like alcohol might have been a factor. A little hairy at the end, but the Leafs pull off the 5-3 win. They won 3 straight. Couple problems though. They know they're going to be without Zach Hyman for the next 3 weeks with an ankle injury. In this game, Tyler Ennis takes a puck off the ankle and it broke it. So brutal. He's had a really good season. I think he's been playing his best hockey finally. He doesn't look like a fourth liner. He looks too good. So now it's an opportunity for someone else, and the Leafs call up Trevor Moore, who will be playing his first NHL game against the Red Wings. Also of note, Martin Marincin out of the lineup for this game. Justin Hall in, finally! Because before we get to questions, I was about to rant on that. The Leafs are down 2 forwards, relatively long term. Wouldn't it be nice to have Josh Levo? But I understand why the Levo trade happened. I get it, whatever. But it is harder to justify when you've had a healthy guy in Justin Hall for almost 40 games and he's been scratched for all but one of them. Dude, play the guy. Well, you know, you need defensive depth for a cup run. Well, what are you going to do? Imagine the Leafs are down a couple guys and they make it all the way to the Stanley Cup final. You're going to play a guy on right D who hasn't played a game since like Halloween? Mixing a game! I like Ozhiganov and I know he's been sick, but he hasn't been so amazing this season that Marincin and Hall can't get in a few more games. And just quickly before questions, because I know this was a common one, who should the Leafs call up? Well, obviously they called up Moore. I saw a few people going, well, what about Mason Marchment? He could add some grit. Nah, anyone who covers the Marlies regularly knows that Trevor Moore is the right call. That's what they've been saying anyway. He's a little bit older and more experienced. He's speedy. He's feisty. He's got a few goals this season. He's been good in that regard, and he's just been a soldier. The Marlies were down a defenseman in the game, so Moore played defense, and then he ended up getting a point. He's earned this call up, and I hope he kills it. Questions. You think someone put something in the Mountain Dew that is making Mitch Marner shoot the puck more? Well, hopefully it's a Mountain Dew sponsorship, so we can save a couple dollars on the contract. Can Nylander just score already so all of the whining about how he's overpaid and useless can stop? So over it. I mean, are you all not in? Oh, he didn't have a shot on goal. Dude, did you not see that pass he gave to Connor Brown? It was a really good scoring chance. Also, the Leafs have scored 18 goals over their past 3 games and only allowed 6. I'm not concerned. I will say this though, I'm excited for Trevor Moore. I hope he does really well in his call-up, but with 2 forwards out of the lineup, Nylander is even more important. So I don't care how he finds a way, he needs to find a way. And that's fine. I can note that and be happy at the same time. SDP animated? Yep. Coming up on the podcast channel. I will link to it at the end of this video because it should be up by the time this is up. Kyle Dubas gets a little heated over Fedor Gurdiev. So that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends that there's still one more LFR video before Santa Claus comes to town.